45 minutes is good.
I'm here, man.
We're live in Irvine, studio of Irvine. So just to say, before we start the podcast, some dude shows up out of nowhere, like Cambry, and comes on.
He just wanna be friends, man.
Looks a little sketchy, and what did you notice first?
No, I noticed the shoes first.
You noticed the shoes.
His mismatched shoes. Yeah, he had the sneakers on one shoe and on a slide, like a slipper on the other foot.
I noticed a beer in his hand. It's 7 a.m, guys. Not kidding. I'm drinking coffee. He came out with the biggest modelo, and so what's up, guys? And then he's like,
what did he say? He's like, his girls were over and kicked him out or something. Or he couldn't find his keys.
But his car was paid off because his dad paid it off.
Yeah. That's number one.
I don't know, man. Sketchy. I thought Irvine was supposed to be safe.
Hey, like I said, breaking stereotypes in Irvine, man. You thought you were safe. You thought you were safe, but it can happen anywhere.
I felt fear, and I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to be the fear in Irvine, bro. Well, today we have a special guest, Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, thank you so much for making the time. That is his car. That's not my car. I haven't purchased my own NSX yet. If you don't mind sharing where people can find you, sharing your YouTube, because you do have an awesome YouTube channel.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Chris Lum NSX, ChrisLum NSX on YouTube.
How do you spell NSX?
Just trying to follow in your footsteps on YouTube, and same on Instagram, same handle on Instagram too.
Cool. And we'll put all that stuff in the description box. It's been a bit since we met.
Yeah.
Some of you OG subscribers will remember Chris from his amazing, perfect actually, Mugen S2000. And so what happened since then? Kind of just walk us a little bit.
Basically, when we did our interview, I was basically finished with the car. I think I had to do a few little tidbits here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't remember what year it was. But then essentially after that in 2019, I thought about selling the car because I was kind of like, you know what, I did everything I wanted to do with this car, and I think I wanted to go to the next step, even though the NSX wasn't always like something that I wanted because it was always like expensive and old. I said, you know what, I need something else to move. I'm a Honda fan, and there's nothing else at that time that I wanted to move on to, and so I moved on to the NSX in 2020.
Do you think that if the FL5 would have been out by then, you would have got the FL5 over the NSX?
It's possible. It's hard to say. Yeah, that's definitely I've never thought about that.
Because you said at the time there was nothing else.
Because the FK8 was out at a time, right?
Oh, okay.
Probably. But I wasn't always like a huge fan of the looks. Obviously that FK is very polarizing as far as looks. But FL5, I really like the FL5.
You like the FL5?
Yeah, I know you do too.
Yes.
So yeah, that's an interesting question. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah.
I don't think you made a wrong decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, remind us of the specs on your car. What is it?
So this, even though this looks like an 02 to 05 NSX, it's actually 1991. So that's the first year made, and it's facelifted, and basically, it's a manual, 1991. Original color is black, and I've just gone through it and modified it to my liking. Everything you can see here, it's got a full 0205 exterior conversion on it, meaning headlights, bumper, hood's different. This is a Type R style hood. It's got a Type R style wing on it, but there's other stuff like side skirts and rear bumper and taillights that are like 02 to 05 specific.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course wheels, brake suspension, the normal modifications like that and stuff like that. But
normal, expensive wheels.
Well, no, I mean like
spool calipers. No, not normal.
I'm talking about like the types of mods the Honda boys do, right? Like wheel suspension, spoon calipers, of course, are super common for Hondas. So
that's awesome. Now the car was down, quote unquote, right, for a little bit. Tell us, like, what were you working on?
Yeah, I mean, since I've had it from 2020. This car's been around, but it hasn't been like maintained like the best way possible. So the previous owners did some work, but I ended up combing through it and wanting to, the way I modify cars is like I like to do mechanical, get it up to snuff like mechanically the best I can first before I start doing other stuff. And so ever this past 4.5 years, I've been just going through it with a fine-tooth comb like replacing seals, you know, ball joints and boots and everything that's leaking. It came with like 2 leaks out of the engine when I first bought it. Just getting it, you know, up to my standard. So that's basically, you know, 6 months last year in 2023. It was down to get transmission work because I do everything myself as much as I can. But transmission work I decided not to do, like short gears. So it was internal gear work. And I dropped it off at a shop. Took them 6 months to get it done. Ouch. Which was crazy. Good work. I'm not complaining about anything about that. But yeah, the downtime was pretty nuts. And then beginning of 2024, it was down 4 months for paint work. And it wasn't all just paint work, but it was like waiting for the paint to cure so I can cover it with PPF, you know, just so like if I'm spending like a large sum of money on paint, I want to protect the investment. I don't want to like, you know, get it painted and then go out and get rock chips right away. So I had to get it painted, let it cure for a few months, get it PPF'd, and then so yeah, it's been down like 10 to 11 months out of the past year. So
we're very happy and very blessed that we have it with us, because if you do put the PPF too soon, it backfires.
Right.
So that's what I noticed. The paint looks immaculate, especially being a black car. When he means going with it with the, you know, level of detail, like if you guys check out his YouTube channel, you'll quickly see that he does have that level of detail. And that's why his cars look the way they look. Even your track Integra, I could tell that it was in a way very well taken care of, even though it was a track car. You know?
Yeah.
Before we left to do some rollers, you're like, man, I know you're a busy guy. I think part of it is now obviously I have a 1-year-old. You have a baby as well. You know, you took the time to send me a DM last time on my last Wash and Talk, which was about how, you know, there's a lot, but one of them that I spoke on how I stay up really late at night sometimes, you know, just overthinking the whole universe, and I shouldn't. And you're like, dude, that's me as well. So thank you, by the way. First and foremost, thank you for listening to the Wash and Talk. I don't know who in their right mind listens to them. Second of all, thank you for like sending me that DM of encouragement. Because sometimes you just think that you're like the only one going through something. So walk us through that. Like, has that always been your personality, or has it been enhanced now that you have a baby?
What, just like overthinking stuff? No, it's always been my personality. But definitely, you know, having someone dependent on you takes it to another level. But yeah, that's just always been me overthinking. I'm like a huge introvert, which is why the YouTube thing for me was really difficult. And when we spoke last time with my S2000, afterwards, we talked at a coffee shop, and that's when we talked about YouTube. You know, I asked you about YouTube channel, and I didn't have a YouTube channel at that time, and you know, you inspired me at that time to start the YouTube channel, so I started shortly after that. But you know, it's hard for introverts to do that. Like, I only started putting my face in front of the camera like maybe like a year and a half into my channel, probably. You know, I just solely filmed from my perspective because I didn't want to be on put my face on the channel. So
he's Chris Fix, guys. I broke the news. I got
it. But so what I'm getting at is, as an introvert, as a huge introvert, meaning like I still get like really scared to talk in public settings and stuff, in front of large groups of people. I overthink things. I have like huge internal monologues. I'm used to just sitting quiet and thinking to myself and like overanalyzing, overthinking things, thinking things from all sorts of different points of views and perspectives, and that's just how I've been my entire life.
I mean, I like, believe it or not, I can be a very big introvert if I'm new to the group.
Right.
Obviously, once you get to know me, then it's like, yay, he won't stop, talking. But I think it's powerful, man, that you're sharing that mindset, because, there's a lot of people out there. I know for a fact that they want to start something, but they just won't because of that. Oh, I'm an introvert. What are people going to say?
Yeah.
And I think the cool thing for me, I'll tell you this, your channel hasn't blown up. And it's a great channel. But I think for me, what I imagine is, your baby one day you know, now he's able to use YouTube, whatever, to be like, damn, my dad was doing this. There's memories
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah.
posting that to you, there's just videos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I think it, like, if number one, if I had a dad, right? Let's start with that. But number two, if my dad would have had a YouTube channel and he's posting about not only, you know, I'm not core, like an NSX,
Yeah.
dude, like the thought process of that, I'd be like, damn, my dad was
Yeah.
freaking rad,
Yeah.
you know, because we're all getting older.
Yeah.
We're all getting older.
There's so many things I want to touch on right there, and I hope I remember them all. First of all, congratulations on your channel. It's
Thank you.
blown up like crazy. I don't remember how many followers you had or subscribers you had when we had the S2000 video, but you've taken off.
Thank you.
Second is, yes, your video of the S2000 of my S2000 is the only video I have of the S2000. Literally, I have like one home video of it, like when I was turbocharged, but
Camcorder?
that's it. Yeah, really. And so I cherish that video you made because it's on the internet forever, and I can view it whenever I want of my S2000. And so that's part of also what inspired me to do my own channel, which is to kind of document. Because back in the day we used to do forums, post pictures. I don't do that anymore. So the YouTube is how I do that and how I wanted to like memorialize my NSX now. And then also my dad lives in San Diego, which is like an hour away, and he likes to see what I'm up to, things like that. He's again my biggest supporter. He watches every single one of my videos.
Oh man.
And then third, yes, my channel hasn't taken off, but that's not necessarily my goal either, because my channel is 99% NSX how-to DIY videos, and like I know completely it's not gonna get like 100,000 views, you know.
Bro, but you did an hour-long video and it got like 30,000 views. I was watching it.
I don't know which one that was, but
It's like you did like a whole breakdown, and I'm like, oh, cool. I'm just having the background.
Okay, maybe.
And then I had like 30,000 views for an hour and a
Very
half.
rarely. I have like 3 videos that do okay.
Nah,
But what I'm getting at is like I know my channel isn't tailored for like the most views and most subscribers.
Correct.
Because obviously just how-to videos, no one's gonna just watch them for fun. Like if you want to know how to do a radiator or something, you're gonna go look for that video, and that's what I'm there for, and that's what I try to do is just help the community out. Like first of all, I'm doing all this stuff to my car because I need to, actually, not because like I want to, I want to, or for the views. You know what I mean? Like I
don't want to break my car apart.
I need to do these things to my car, and I was like, okay, I might as well film it. You know, like I have the ability to film it, I have the know-how to film it and edit it, so might as well film it and be a asset to the community. And so that's kind of like I don't know if I touched on everything I wanted to, but that's kind of like the essence of everything and where I'm at right now. So
I love what you said about your dad watching your videos, because and that's a way for you to maintain connection.
yeah.
Obviously with work, life, family, growing, it's so difficult to. I think I don't know. You correct me, but my priority is obviously family, but there's also work, right? There's also this other stuff that we need to do to survive.
Yeah.
And you know, as my buddy Jason mentioned, living in Southern California, we're playing the video game in hard mode. You know, things are a little bit more expensive, and cost of living is a little higher. Obviously, great weather, you know, but at the same time, it's challenging. So, how do you deal with like balancing your time?
That has to do a lot with my support system, which I'm sure you can relate to, which is your family, your friends, mainly my family at this point because my baby's little, right? I'm not like dropping my kid off at my friend's house right now. My baby's 11 or almost a year this month. So
Congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, like, you know, my mother-in-law has been staying with us for the past 6 months, which I'm hugely thankful for, because if she wasn't there, he would have had to go to daycare at 6 months when my wife got off leave. And so people like her, people like my wife that are able, like, they're at home with the kid right now, you know, while I'm here with you, so that they allow me the time to do things like this, work on my car, make my own videos, go out to just Cars and Coffee or something. Because they, you know, my wife is the one obviously dictates it. She's like, she understands how important the car thing is to me, and we've been together for a long time, since 2005. So what is that? That's almost, that's a long time. I'm not gonna
Can afford it in a sex, but can't do simple math.
Spit out the
5
the number
15
right
to
now.
20, that's 15 years,
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. So right. So next year's a big anniversary.
It's early in the morning. And that guy showing up with the Modelo in his beard does not help. It threw us off. I was about to start running.
Anyway, she's
That's cool.
She knows who I am, right? And like what the cars are, obviously cars have been my thing for a long time. So yeah, that how I split my time is that, like obviously we're working, like you said, but you gotta spend some time for your own health, also mental health or whatever health you want it to be, to enjoy yourself. And you can't. I'm a firm believer that you can't just like give up your own life and make it about your kids either. It is a big part of your life too, but
Agreed.
you need to be able to maintain your own health and well-being and sanity. And because if you don't, then that's just gonna carry over to your kids and and reflect negatively probably, if you're not happy or you're upset or things like that, right? So that's kind of like how I feel about that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Obviously it's harder in certain situations. Some people have it harder than others, but yeah, like that's what I strive for, at least.
Funny you mentioned that about like mother-in-laws and things like that. Like my mom is the one that stepped up to the plate. She's the one taking care of my son. Otherwise he would have had to gone to daycare. Not only obviously the money aspect is one important thing, but the most important thing is just I can't imagine leaving my son with strangers. And kudos to all of you who do not have a support system, because I know it's extremely difficult. And as you're hearing, you're like, yeah, it sucks, because even I'm gonna go back to work this week. This last month and a half that I had off, it's hard, you're born with your kiddo and you're like, oh man. So I can only imagine just leaving him or her in a daycare and obviously people have to do that because they have to,
right? But
kudos to your mother-in-law for stepping up and allowing both of you to be able to have one extremely less stress in your day, because I know that's super stressful to just be like, well, who's with my kid, how are they taking care of them?
It's really nice for people that have the ability to have a family member take care of their kid, even like through multiple years. Like I said, our kid would have had to go at 6 months if it weren't for my mother-in-law, but already he still has to go. She needs to go back and live her own life and take care of her husband and everything like that, once my baby turns a year. So my baby is going to go into daycare at a year, and that's still like early for me, I feel like. But again, there's nothing we can do about it. Like we have bills to pay, obviously we could like give up material things like that too, but whether that's going to be enough, I don't even think that's going to be enough.
Right? That's the thing, right? Because that's a great point. Sorry to cut you off, but like some may argue, well, lower your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, we'll lower it, but is it going to be enough? Yeah. Again, we're playing the game in hard mode, and some people in, let's say, Wyoming, they're also struggling, even though the cost of living is cheaper.
Yeah.
There's other aspects to it. It's not like we're complaining, but we're also buying brand new things 100% all the time.
Right.
That's not how it goes, So,
right.
I 1000% understand where you're coming from, and unless we win the lotto or whatever, this is kind of like the reality of now. We can't afford these homes and one person just be working.
We talked about
the 50s, the 40s, the 60s. It seems like things have changed. Real estate is now more of a business than a livelihood. This is, you have a home now, is more of a business, and therefore it's becoming a renter's nation, I would say. And so either if you buy a home, and you most likely will need both incomes, you're kind of stuck in that limbo.
Yep.
It's
it's that rat race, right? Like that people talk about. Like you have a certain lifestyle that you want to or need to either one keep up,
mm-hmm.
and then you need to pay the bills for that and everything like that. And you know, who's to say what's right or wrong? Obviously, like you just said, you could go live out in the middle of nowhere and have, you know, pay very little, but then at the same time, like, there's a reason why in the middle of nowhere, you know, it's cheaper to live. Either it's not as nice, and jobs out there probably don't pay as much as well.
No.
So I mean, if you're lucky, you can, like, there's very few people that are lucky enough to, like, keep their, you know, high paying job in California and then move and work remotely or something from, like, Wyoming or Montana or something like that, right? But that's just how it is, I feel like, you know. And again, it goes back to the mental health and everything, like, too. You can't just me personally, I don't want to just, like, give up everything in order to change my life into whatever different direction, you know. So it just depends, I guess. There's a lot of variables, right?
Have you ever thought about the rat race and being able to get out of it? Or are you just kind of like, hey, you know, I'm going to obviously work, save for retirement. This is just kind of the way it is. Because like I told you, I don't want to call it a stress because I don't think it is. I think it's a privilege to be able to worry or plan. There you go. It's a privilege to be able to plan, like, for myself. As a first generation homeowner, right, to go through that whole entire thing. Now, like, man, I can't wait to pay off my mortgage.
Yeah.
So then if my wife wants to stay home, and that's like the biggest goal that I have now. I guess my way of trying to get out of the rat race. I mean, do you ever think about it?
I've heard you talk about that. For us, it's a different situation because that would be nice for sure, and, like, being able to play, like, the traditional male role in a relationship as, like, go to work, provide for my wife and stuff. And there's a couple things for us. For our situation, my wife makes a lot more money than I do.
Sick. Bro, no, I'm not even hating. Like, if my wife could make triple what I make, I'll stay home and wash the dishes.
Right. So if one of us were to stay home, it would be me.
No. It's cool.
Okay, but then the second part of that is, or the additional part of that is, like, after having the kid, you know, I'm not nearly as what do you call it, fit or able or best fit to take care of the kid. Like that's honest to God. Like, my wife has stepped up to the plate like crazy, and, you know, she's done all the research about every little thing, whether it's feeding him, you know, nutrition, clothing, you know, whatever. Like, yesterday we just went to go buy his first pair of shoes, and it was like this Japanese shoes that are supposed to be really good for, you know, when they're taking the first steps. And I'm like, dude, you know, like, she's doing all this without me even knowing. So, like,
Chris was about to go buy some from the Goodwill.
Like, sometimes
they look good. They fit them.
Sometimes I feel, like, pretty useless, you know. And so anyway.
By the way, side note, send me the link to those.
Okay.
Because my wife is the same way.
Okay.
Like, I mean, she's preparing everything.
Yeah,
and I'm just like,
actually, we got it from really close too. It's like right 5 minutes down the street.
10 minutes away.
Yeah, 10 minutes away. Next city, 2 cities over. No, but
shout out to your wife, then, man.
Yeah. My wife is a superhero.
Because first kiddo, right?
Yeah, first kid.
So I'm
first
sure
kid.
that's so exciting. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're like me. You just sit there and they're like, "Oh, feed them," and
I do what she tells me to do.
As you should. As you should.
But so getting out of the rat race, like, it's difficult, you know. Like, I've thought about it and being able to provide, but it's you know, I don't make a ton of money, so and she allows me to spend my money on this, you know. So
but you know, the thing is, like,
do.
I'm not even like I'm telling you, if my wife could make more money, I'll stay home. I don't even need to have that title. Like, I don't. I think you nailed it. I hadn't put it into words, but like you mentioned, the mom, at least my wife, she has been so much more educated. She self-educates. She does a whole bunch of research to make sure that our son is well taken care of. So when I saw that, she technically makes more than me. I made like 5-10 grand because we're in the same, you know, field, but she makes more than I do. But when I saw that, I was just like, okay, look, check this out. I know it was difficult for you to go back to work, so how about in 7-8 years, which seems like a long time, but if we stay focused, maybe we can do it before that. I won't have a Porsche, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm 1,000% okay with not having a material thing. but to be able to see my wife to be like, hey, you wanna go and hang out with your kid during elementary?
Yeah.
Life throws you lemons, right, and curveballs, and random people showing up with beer in their hands at 7 a.m. and everybody. But you just have to be able to kind of, at least for me, that's what's appropriate for me, to be able to try to get out of the rat race. And it's difficult. It is very difficult. But thank you for sharing your thoughts.
That's super admirable, man. And big props to you for making that like your goal and making it like an actual goal, not just saying it, you know. Like I can tell that you've thought about it and actually like you're probably planning out like steps to actually do that. Like, so yeah, that's
next week. I'm buying an NSX. I'm back in the rat race.
Wait, did you get these new wheels on camera yet?
hey, that video's coming back Monday.
Nah, I don't say that.
Hopefully the video pays for it.
I watch your videos. I know it's approved by the wifey.
Hopefully the video's gonna be able to pay for the video for the wheels, man. Man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we all have different goals, and that's just I guess what's for me. What I like is, you know, in many different Washington talks, you know, I mentioned that I wanted my own place, and we got that, and we were extremely happy where we're at. But my mindset is like that all the time, man. It's like I can delay gratification for me for my own personal things. I can delay them a lot. I don't know why. Yeah. But for someone else, like if somebody wants to buy something, let's go buy it for you, you know. But for me, I was like, I'll wait. You know, I don't need to have that car, even though you know every weekend I'm surrounded by.
You're a good person, man. You put others before you. That's super admirable. You know.
I try. You know, I do have a temper sometimes, but you know, I try, and it's difficult, especially when you see, you know, specimens like this. You're like, damn.
No, so that's why it's so admirable, because in this age of social media, that's all we're doing is like, I know you know this, we're looking at you, because you've talked about this before, looking at people only post their wins, and you know, you're only showing the good stuff, and you're most people using social media to just like flaunt, you know. And for you to be able to like hold back and, you know, put others before you, put your son or your wife or whatever other situations, like that's, dude, I can't do that. It's hard.
We should do this podcast every week where you just say nice things about me.
Okay. No, and dude, you talk about in your Washington talks all the time. Like, I don't know why people, you know, like to watch this and stuff, you know, versus like when you're out at car shows. But it's because people want to hear about you, man.
That's cool, man.
You know,
and
you mentioned one time how like, oh, it's kind of boring, you know. I can't remember what words you used exactly, but like it's not super interesting because it's just someone washing their car. But what they're there for is not to see you wash your car. They're there to hear about you, hear what you have to say. That. And that's why you've been so successful, is because like people have latched on to not necessarily your content, but what you are. You are the content partially, right? What you have to say and what your opinions are and everything like that. And so
Thank you.
I think people want to know about you, you know?
Yeah, thank you,
man.
That's
probably why you're watching.
Definitely we're going to do this every week. We don't even be recording, Chris. Tell me nice things I want to hear. How do you do with that? Like, because people may think that I'm on social media nonstop, and I do post a lot, but I'm not really on social media. I purposely not try to scroll.
Yeah.
How do you do with that? Do you ever have FOMO, or you're pretty good? You're like, nah, I stay in my lane.
I get FOMO like crazy, man. Yeah.
Let me finish the question. Yeah. Okay, so you do get... No, I'm just kidding. So you do get FOMO like crazy.
Oh, yeah,
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. No, I try to be honest, like, with whatever I'm talking about. But, yeah, with... Like, so, I totally get and agree with all the negative that comes with social media. Whether it's FOMO, whether it's, you know, people not understanding that people only post wins and not losses, and that it's a truly like really biased view of someone's life.
Oh, I like that.
But yeah, that's I totally. So for me, like right now, it's hard to admit this, but I go on social media right at this moment in time because I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel, you know, and that's not why I'm here with you, you know, but like not only that, but to like, you know, get relationships and stuff too. But like there's kind of different reasons over the years, you know, like again, I just mentioned how it can be bad for you, and so there's parts of me that wants to like leave social media behind because of that reason. Like I don't like looking at other people and wishing that I have that they just got or stuff like that. But at the same time, like there's been lots of good things that have come out of social media too, whether it's like stuff that's positively affected me, like kind of sponsorship opportunities, or just the fact that I always go back to this, but when I had my S2000, and this is 2017, I popped open Instagram one morning at like 6:30, 7 a.m. and King had just released their MF10s, the re-release. That was like one of the latest of, they released my MF10s multiple times throughout the years. I think the previous to that was 2013. So 2017, my S2000 was fully Mugen'd out already, except for the wheels, essentially. And I was like, dude, I'm never gonna get these wheels because like people are paying like thousands. People are paying like $6,000-$7,000 for used sets at that time, like used early 2000 sets. And I was like, dude, I don't want to pay that ever that much. And then I opened social media. King said, oh, we released these. I got on the phone. I was like, my wife, I was like, can we buy these? Can I put these on my credit card or whatever? Can I buy these? And then that was like what I feel is like such a blessing, because it's like really made my that build complete to me, because wheels obviously are a big part of it. And so stuff like that has happened multiple times too, where I'm really thankful that I was just like opening social media the moment I woke up,
Every morning Chris wakes up at 6:30. What am I gonna buy today?
Honestly, that's like 50% of the reason why I open social media in the morning, because like I scroll through just to see if like what the news is, or what's something like that like I can take advantage of, because actually like the wheels sold out like either that day or the next day in 2017. So I was like, and my buddy wanted one too later, and I was like, yeah dude, I'm like super thankful I was there to get it.
Nice.
So there's like goods and bads, right, to social
of
media, and whether it's like breaking news or something, or just learning about current events, like because I don't have like regular TV right now. I just have like YouTube and stuff like that.
Who watches regular TV nowadays?
Yeah. So
it's difficult.
So that's how and I don't who reads. I don't read a newspaper. No, I'm kidding.
We do need to read. And do math. Apparently, we don't know what 2015 to 2024 is.
I should read. But yeah, so that's I don't remember what the original what we're getting at here, but yeah, social media has its ups and downs.
It has the pros and cons for sure. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. That too.
And thank you for the gift for my son for his
birthday.
Oh yeah,
you're welcome.
Remember.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you for my gift.
Yeah.
You got me a little small model JTCC Castrol. So I mean, look, that's the thing. I understand the power, and hence why the channel has grown, because of people like yourself. So
no, I mean, so yeah, that's what I don't like, and I wanted to make it clear that I didn't come here to like self-promote. You know what I mean?
As he's wearing his shirt, no?
No, this is your shirt.
I'm kidding. I would have
for this shirt.
I would have wore my shirt with my YouTube, my hat, do a livery for the 1OK shit.
No.
So, and I know that for 100%. I mean, I think I even feel bad. I'll tell you, I feel bad that we haven't hung out even before this.
It's all good, dude. You're so busy, man.
But
like I said, you've blown up so much. When I see your sometimes you post. Sorry to cut you off. When you post like, oh, how many DMs you have and stuff that unread, I'm like, damn, dude. And I see like, how many followers you have, how many subscribers you have. I'm like, dang, dude, you're putting in the work. And I've told you this before too, like how much you go out and all the video. I'm seriously shocked all the time. Like you make it out to all these events, local events. And I'm like, damn, dude. Like I told you, I don't know about like the NWP meets, dude. They're 5 minutes from my house. I don't know about half of those that go on. I'm like, damn, dude. You're putting in the work, and so you deserve. I'm not just blowing smoke up. You deserve.
I appreciate that.
You've worked hard for it. So
I appreciate that. Yeah. And honestly, I think for me, it's you mentioned you need time for yourself. Saturday and Sunday mornings, this is what I like to do. My wife's taking care of my son. By around 11:30, 12, I want to be home with my kid.
Okay.
You know, I get a lot of invites. Hey, this is an event from 12 to. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
That's always been my mentality. Before even when I didn't have my son, I just want to be home. Want to be home with my wife and have brunch. Now it's like, you know, once you have a kid, it's game over. You know, they say that to be a parent, you learn how to live with your heart outside your body, and that's like, I'm like, I want to be with my son. I may not be with him 24/7, but I'm there. He can look at me. I can, you know. Yeah. So when I try to make it to these events, it's one thing per day. You know, this is what we're doing today. Oh. I don't want me to rush. I don't want to take more of your time, but I don't want to rush. Right? We want to have a nice conversation with coffee. And I thank you, man. I know that you're not here because you're trying to promote your channel. That's not like you. And that's why I really, really appreciate you. I really like you. Since the very first time we met, we had a good conversation. I was like, man, I was so happy, and I'm so proud of you for starting the YouTube channel and being consistent with it as much as you can. Yeah. Because I really truly believe that people like you really need the support as opposed to other stuff that we, you know, grabs attention, and that it's, to me, it is not really beneficial. But you know, the market decides that, right? That's what people's attention is. But no, I understand, man, and I'm really happy that you continue to build that YouTube channel. You continue to build the NSX. You mentioned that the S2000 was done, right? So it seems like you actually stood by your word, you know, and moved on. Will this ever be done? And if so, what would be the next thing?
So I said it was done, but it's interesting that I use that term. I kind of use that term just for conversation, because I typically don't believe like any car can be done, because there's always something to do, even no matter how little it is, you know. But for the S2000 specifically, I'll answer that first. Yeah, there was tons of things I could have done different, you know, kind of done further. But at the time, I felt like at a good point, at a good stopping point, let's say, right? And then I felt like, okay, I was looking, my buddy had gotten NSX, and I was like, okay, let's think about, you know, possibly looking into one. And that's when I started snowballing. So for this car, it's not done, except for the fact that I've spent like way more money into it than I thought I ever would. And so that part of me makes me want it to be done. Like, especially with my son, right? Like, daycare is super expensive. Daycare is like another mortgage expensive.
Another NSX payment.
Yeah, and it's like way more than another NSX. It's like, you know, GT3 payment, right?
Oh,
like
shit.
we want GT3 and so is it done? No, there's gonna be other stuff to do. I still have more stuff to do right now, but you know, I would like it to be done. You know, I would like to not spend more money on it. I would like to not think about it, because stuff.
Well, you kind of have the power, but what else is there to do? I mean, the car is, that's it. It's perfect.
Small stuff. Like I have carpet that I need to throw in, red carpet. It's stupid stuff. It's stupid. Not.
No
cool,
details.
Not like
details.
So yeah, this is the point. I'm kind of happy. I'm content at this point, because it's like looks very good. The majority of it looks good, and it's just the details right now. Because up until then, it just, the personality that I am, like, it eats away at me, like in my sleep and stuff, if the car is not like mostly the way I want it to be, you know. Like, there's something big that I still need to do, like, then it eats away at me. But right now I'm pretty good with it. Like, I could live with it like this for many years. And then, you know,
so staying for a long time?
And like if I had to sell it or something for some situation,
right.
Like I lost my job or something, I had to sell it, then I'd be, you know, I wouldn't be sad that I lost it.
You won't. But let's pretend. Let's just, not to give you more ideas or FOMO, but let's just pretend, because I always like to pretend. It's done. You're like, I'm ready to sell it. Somebody says, hey, I'll give you a big pot of gold, and you're like, cool, take it. What else would you build?
I mean, it's like what we want, the GT3.
You move on to the Porsche?
Right? Like, I really would.
An Accord.
I would take a Accord wagon.
I'm not even for Accord.
I just went to Wagon Meet yesterday. It's pretty nice. They got all the car seats in the back and everything like that.
I missed out on that one. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I was somewhere.
I'm sure you knew about it.
My buddy who drives the TSX wagon was like, "Hey, come by, stop by," and I had some other. Again, I only do one thing at a time. I don't. Like today, there's a meet in Anaheim. It's cool, but I want to be here. You know.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. So Porsche.
Okay, yeah. So, dude, I'll take like any Porsche besides like a 996.
Now that Gabe's watching, but shout out to Gabe.
Sorry. No, like,
bro. I remember what I did yesterday. I was with buddy Ted, who was S2000. We shot an interview, and the same exact thing. I'm like, he wants to move on to the Porsche. He's like, yeah, I'll take anything except the 996.
No, I mean it's a good enough car, but like, you know, I've always been someone who's focused on like looks the most. Even though I talk about mechanical and stuff like that, and I work on my own car all the time, and that's for my ownership, mechanical is top before looks. But then like when it comes to Porsche, they're so sexy, and like but anyway, if I had like the money, I would go for like right now, if I really had the money, I'd go for like a 992 GT3, non RS actually. Yeah, just
you don't have that much money, right?
Not that much money. No, but I actually really like the non-RS a lot. So, to me, I've always loved the RS, but
have you seen the RS? The 992?
Yes. So I like it. So let me hold on one second. I've always loved RS, and obviously that's like the pinnacle of the GT3. I just feel like the GT3 RS, the 992 now, it's like gone way crazy. Like it's full track, like it's really track car, you know, like with the gigantic wing. So I kind of like how understated the regular GT3 is with the little swan neck wing and everything like that. It kind of like fits the bill for me as far if like the way I picture myself like cruising around, you know what I mean? Like I don't think I would cruise around like all the time in a GT3 RS, you know, like to the market and stuff. The way you know I cruise and stuff like that. It's like just to wherever. That's how I cruise. Sorry, I don't like wherever I want to go. If like because I don't drive this car that much. So if I'm just going to the supermarket or picking up dinner or something like that, I'll take this car out because like, you know, if I don't go on to Cars and Coffee on the weekend, that means I don't drive this car for like a week. You know.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah.
So
I'm afraid to drive this car.
Anyway, but like in all reality, like when I was looking to buy the NSX, I was cross shopping with like a 991 base model or 991S if I could afford it. That was a stretch though, because they're again kind of in the same range. Remember, this is 2020 NSX prices, not 2012 NSX prices.
They're definitely not.
yeah. So
that's so funny. We were looking at the same cars.
Yeah.
I was looking at 991 base. Look, to me,
I love 991 looks, like how wide,
right?
And long.
People
long
don't like it because it's so much bigger. Okay, so let me. 997, yes, perfect size, weight, power. I get it. Yeah. But the 991.
Yeah.
The back end. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say like, I love the looks of a car because obviously, what makes each generation 911 so good? It's good. You know, like whether it's you're into air cooled because they're really small and lighter weight and simple, or the 997 fits your build the most because it's kind of in middle generation, still very analog and still smaller, or whether you like 991 and up because like for me, again, I like how wide it is. I like the long wheelbase. I like how sleek it looks. I like how the taillights and headlights, you know, it like to me, like that, I'll take that over, you know, a loss of driving feel a little bit, you know. Maybe it's not as analog and not as direct drive feeling as a 997 or something like that, but to me that matters more because I put more weight on like the looks personally. Yeah. So that's why for me I like that.
I mean, in reality, we had the money in the world, I would buy probably one of each generation. I mean, I love the 964s. The RWB, that to me is, if you were to ask me, okay, Gus, like, you get one Porsche. Okay, one. As much as I love the 991, 992s, I think the RWB Porsche would be, because it's not the fastest.
Like a 964 version?
Yep. It's not the fastest. It's not, it's not going to break records. But you cannot beat the look of that car.
Yeah, it has a presence, yeah.
And that's what I love. Cause I don't know, I'm not into speed. Like, that's why when I was telling you the 991 base, the Carrera, 300 some horsepower. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like it's way more than my driving experience and my skills. So to me, I was just like, the people are like, oh, you want to get the sport because it has more power.
Yeah.
Dude, coming from where I come from, like, I drive 160 horsepower on a daily.
Yeah.
You think 300 is going to be a problem for me?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But that's just my...
Yeah. There's all sorts of different people. I mean, there's people that just want speed. That's why, you know? So... That's why I say you should drive this car, man. It's just a fancy looking Honda. It's not fast at all, but it has a different driving
tone
feeling,
experience.
You know, yeah.
I would, but nah. Especially like I prove our point.
The invitation is open anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And
I don't extend that invitation to anyone.
I know, and I don't take it for granted. I do appreciate, and I appreciate a lot of people who always like, hey, you want to drive my car? I'm like,
yeah.
Yes, but no.
Yeah,
you know.
And to your viewers, because I don't want to make it seem like the NSX is like the holy grail. What I told you before, I truly feel is like it's not life changing driving this car. Like that's not why I'm telling him to drive it. That's not why I'm telling you to drive it. I just feel like if you haven't driven it, it's nice, especially as a Honda enthusiast, to experience it, you know, at least once in your life, because it's not life changing, but it's fun, it's interesting. I remember the first time I drove it home, just hearing the engine behind my head and everything like that, and the different tone and everything like that. It's in the way it drives. It feels it's fun, you know.
Let's talk about that, because I know we're finishing up here now. But what is it's Honda specific, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It is a holy grail.
I mean, that's debatable considering like how good the Type R's of this generation are right now.
But know? I feel like this is my opinion, right? So, the speaker does not represent the channel's opinion. Is that how it goes? It doesn't work when I'm the one making the videos.
Disclaimer at the bottom.
The FL5 is amazing, but obviously it's almost like the 991 and 992. It's so comfortable that it's no longer analog. It's just it's a very nice modern Honda. To me, again, me personally, it's not so much about the speed. If anything, is holy grail, let's say, from Porsches. I think I've never been in one, but I can imagine the 997 GT3 RS, right, the middle of it.
Yeah.
But I still want the 991 because the GT3 RS aren't affordable. If I could afford it, I would go that over the 991, right?
Yeah.
The same thing with this. I feel like, where did Honda go wrong by not making this car? You know, for so many generations. Even the new NSXs, they're beautiful cars, but obviously they're more modern.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this generation, to me, is the holy grail in Hondas. Just in Hondas, you know?
To Honda owners, a lot of Honda owners, yes. To the rest of the world, I would say it only became like that recently, though.
Really?
You know, because that's the reason why prices were so low for the longest time. Like when I bought my S2000 in 2007, these NSXs were going for in the 20s. This NSX that I bought, the NSX that I bought in 2020, 1991, 125,000 miles, that would have gone for like 25 to 30, maybe even less than that.
Jesus.
Maybe 20 to 25 in 2007. So that's how much they've come up, because as you know, in the last like 5 to 10 years, but especially during COVID, the golden era Hondas, and not just Hondas, but 90s analog cars in general, whether it's like a M3 or 911, 964, 933 or whatever, they've all gone up in value, right?
It's just like crazy.
Because, and part of the reason we all know is because EVs and hybrids are coming in, and these cars aren't going to be made anymore, you know? And so I feel like, yes, this car is on a pedestal because at a certain level, because especially for Honda people, but yes, it's all aluminum. You know, Honda hasn't even made another car like that in any other car that they've made, right? I can't remember if the NC1's all aluminum. Probably is. But so it has a certain level to it. But at the same time, what I'm saying is part of that is just like how it aged, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the F05 will age like that. What if, because they're talking about, what if the F05 is the last ICE Type R, internal combustion engine car? You know, the next one might be a hybrid, right? Is what they're saying. so the F05 could evolve into that, in my opinion, could evolve into like a really renowned, desirable car, you know. It only time will tell, in my opinion, right?
Mm-hmm. I just think that I've come around a lot. So I used to be like, and it's like, it's whatever. Check out these Altima, you know?
It is a whatever a little bit.
Not anymore. I'm every time I look at them, I'm like, what was wrong with me? Maybe I'm just hating because I can't afford one. They're, man.
I think my opinion is a little bit different, because it's a little bit, your opinion changes when you really get into the nitty-gritty of the car. And this is the oldest car that I've owned, and so like it still has a lot of faults too, like especially old car faults. Like the AC is really bad. It originally came with the old AC type refrigerant, and then the radio sucks. It's constantly has to be rebuilt. The capacitors in the back of the gauge cluster leak and can cause a fire because the technology is so old.
What?
The window regulators, which is a thing for all Hondas, get old and go up slowly. There's a lot of the ABS, which they called ABL for this car, is so old. It's like one of the first generations of ABS that Honda ever used, I think. And so it's really bad design, and one of the reasons why I had to upgrade to like a 2000 and up unit. So there's a lot of, like, when you're an owner, not until you're an owner or do you really dive into this car, do you realize that like there's a lot of faults or a lot of what I consider, you know, like downsides to the car, that, you know, make it almost like a situation of don't meet your heroes. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like almost. I still really, really enjoy this car, but like it's nowhere near perfect, but it is really good car too, you know. And again, like you're not gonna get anything like this new these days, you know.
It's done.
You're gonna get faster, of course, but not like how this car feels.
Nissan Altimas are faster right off the box days, but
probably.
Nobody cares about that. We want this, man. Wow, man. Thank you for this morning.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for the coffee. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the gifts, most importantly, and thank you for your friendship, because you know, we keep in contact. I love to watch your videos. I love smaller YouTube channels, especially people that I know, and you know, people like you, Peter, like my buddy Peter Hong, who, you know, has a YouTube channel as well, Sub 2 Club. Like, I love seeing you guys just continue to do it, and I know that you're not doing it for subscribers, and that's really the pleasure that I get. But yeah, you're still under subscribed, you're still underrated. Like, I wish I could.
I appreciate your
support. I wish I could do this, man, and give you a million subscribers.
No worries.
But I need a million subscribers myself.
You know? No, it's been good seeing you come up, and just again, thanks, like, man. You deserve it, man. It's like you really coming from another person that makes content, like, I really appreciate the work that you put into it.
A lot of work.
When I watch your videos and stuff, even just the quantity of videos, I understand like how hard it is, you know.
It is, but the difference is that you're actually doing DIY stuff, which I just hold a GoPro, which is a big difference.
It's all good.
All right, man. Thank you for the time this morning.
Of course, thank you.
I appreciate it, and man, I can't wait